teams arguably in their own ways deflated in some manner or other.
A state of disrepair, Dan.
A state of disrepair, apathy, anarchy. Let's see if they are able to best one another. Get right, looking ready for the push. We talked about wanting to see a style of play where there are just there's no dams given. And at the moment, Godsent are looking good off the start. Draken trying to get himself a look in, but does Disco Doplan just denying player after player. Freiburg also denied. Everybody is denied. No entry.
Is that Nate Diaz on Twist's avatar? It looks like Nate Diaz to me. I'm pretty sure it's Nate Diaz.
Don't know.
Nate Diaz, brother of Nick Diaz. The Diaz brothers, they're brothers. Entertaining guys in mixed martial arts. We've got 4 HE grenades, high explosive grenades. And now we've got 1. A late one from Freiburg, a surprise one perhaps. And they will all yield no results. They are resultless grenades. We set off a smoke grenade in our office. I say we, it was Dan. And the fire brigade came. Because the smoke alarm is tied to the fire brigade, and the fire brigade came to our office, and they were like, what's going on here? And I said, oh, nothing, it's just a smoke grenade in our office. In fairness, it didn't set off our alarm. We put a glove on our alarm.
Yep.
It set off the alarm of the office.
Not supposed to tell them that, Jay. You're not supposed to tell them that bit.
Outside.
It's probably quite illegal.
Above us. No, this is all allegedly. I wasn't even there.
It's a controlled experiment. A controlled experiment. So, NIP just waiting for Godsent to make a move, and Godsent, after just doing some rounds, are going to finally make their way up towards the B-bomb sites, looking to get entry, to gain passage. And there's actually 4 players there for NIP, so they have to be careful that they don't mess this one up. Freiburg there, good position, good damage done already, a frag from him, as now the rest of NIP are nipping away as well with their pistols, one at a time. And there are problems here for Godsent. You can see that they're using grenades, but it's a little bit higgledy-piggledy. I can't say that, James. Can you say that for me?
Legitimately.
Either way, it looks like things are stabilizing somewhat, finally. But this could have gone very poorly there. There was a lot of nades thrown in a panic as they're trying to enter.
Nice. Well then, another round in the bag. One more round to go before the fun really starts. Before the fun begins. Draken is $1,000 short of an AWP, which is quite curious. Again, I think when you have a strong, dedicated AWPer, I mean, ultimately there's no one right or one wrong. But for my money, I want the AWPing as soon as possible. I'd rather have the guaranteed AWP than gamble the 5th man buying with the team to win a force buy. What about you, Yanko, as an AWPer? As an AWPer yourself, would you rather your AWPer force buy in round 2 if you lose a pistol, or would you rather him double eco for an AWP?
I feel like we had this discussion before.
We did.
We're doing it again now. I don't remember.
I remember. He said it depends on the situation and the player's preferences. And
That's a crap response, isn't it?
I think that was the summary.
That's why I don't remember it.
Generally speaking.
Oh, great. Thanks, Dan.
Yeah. There you go.
I think it depends on a lot of things. First and foremost, how capable is the player of having impact on his position with a rifle? I mean, you have like the likes of JDM, right? He isn't that good of a rifler as some of the other AWPers, so for him it would be worth it to go double eco so he can have that AWP in his hands and can have more impact, while the likes of Kenny S, for example, despite being a great AWPer, obviously, and he is probably going to eco and have the AWP, he's also known to be a pretty good rifler, Guardian as well.
I feel like there was actually a spot where, like, I think maybe it was it when Simple was on flip side, where basically Simple was just going to force buy, but they wanted him to just have money for an AWP. And I think they just settled at some point and saying, you know what, this guy's just going to buy, just going to force buy. So let's just try to drop him guns so that we'll take the economic hit so he can play with his Deagle or whatever, and he can still have an AWP later on.
I think... I feel like Inferno is potentially... Well, I want to say it's one of the more dangerous ones to be AWP no armor because of grenades, but again, it's more you get at the moment you get the Molotov towards the car to stop AWPers from taking up position, and that's more important than the HE grenade. So I suppose it's fine at the moment, but we'll see how that changes over time. NIP with control of Banan at the moment, but because of the force buys, they have no grenades actually whatsoever. They have literally 0 grenades. I was going to say they have no smoke to resmoke, but they don't have anything to anything. And perhaps that is part of the reason why they are not playing top banana. They're not fighting. They've got no counter flashes. They did have 4 players, now it's 3.
That was a nice entry from Twist.
Nice.
And now they're starting to wrap onto the A site. The NLP players playing very passively, but they aren't able to trade incredibly effectively. And you can see that right now we only have 1 play left, Get Right. And that's going to be that. 4-0. Back onto pistols here for NIP. Get Right could buy an AWP, I guess. Let's get an AWP in there. Why not? Let's do it.
Those were some great entry kills from Twist and Lecro, opening up the round completely. You wonder if NIP should have tried to have some sort of a crossfire maybe towards long with Freiberg, but I guess just died very soon from the moment he got into that position in the first place. There was no time.
What do you think about the force buy here?
Sucks.
Because if they eco, they have max loss bonus and they can full buy next round. So what is the argument for a force buy here if you're NIP?
They don't care. I mean, can you press tab again? Thank you. I mean, you look at the money on the T's, they're not in reset territory. If Godsent loses this round, they will be perfectly capable of fully buying yet again. So there's no reason for NIP to go for this play. They should have just like went for a half buy if they really wanted to. Couple of pistols, smokes, and then had a full buy in the next round. So what are they going to do now when they're out of utility with UMPs against AKs? They need to take some huge risks here, and they do. It's a big gap in that smoke. Drake and doesn't get the kill on Schneider, leaves 1 HP.
It's going quite well though, and in some regards, you know, Godsent aren't going to be a team that's going to be running these late round full executions. They're going to be looking for 1v1s or these entry frags, and it's playing into the hands of NIP in the sense that what NIP would likely be weak against, Godsent aren't really abusing that. They're not punishing that.
15 seconds to do some damage to Godsent side. They haven't got a single kill yet. There's the first one from Lecro, and 9 seconds. He's going to run to his doom essentially. And some AKs will be collected. So the force buy has worked out wonders for Ninjas and Pijamas.
Obviously so.
I mean, why not?
It was a smart decision, as you can tell.
Meekly says Yanko. Well, that's a surprising round. I think, yeah, there's an AWP drops for Draken as well. So all of a sudden, they're in a much nicer spot. Now, how aggressive will Draken get? His bunny hopping not on point. Twist has a max 10. That is interesting.
But I think it goes back to what you said, Yanko, earlier, that we may see an exciting game, but we might not see a good Counter-Strike, or from that classically, from the classic perspective of good decision making and so on and so forth. And again, also against Godsent, they're a team that's not going to be playing optimally necessarily in a lot of these rounds. So like that previous round that we saw, for example, they're just taking 1v1s until there's no one left. That's literally how the entire round went. But let me take this 1v1, and then another one, and then another one, which allowed NIP a chance. But if they're able to win this round, Godsent that is, they can absolutely have a crushing effect on NIP's economy. But that said, this situation is looking decent for NIP. Godsent making the right call to go back, reclaim Banana, and assess the situation over there.
Twist leading the charge with the MAC-10. That is a very nicely timed smoke grenade. Although it may allow him to get closer. If one of his teammates can flash him over the roof, then he can really try to get something done from that close position. They don't have a smoke towards CT though. And again, sub 40 seconds, NIP rotating a player back towards B bomb site. Gerright's got no Molotov to support his teammate though. And indeed, there's no smoke. There it goes, but way too late. Twist taken down, and the push from Godsent is coming in really slow.
Rabek biding his time, waiting, just trying to cause problems here as Godsent players are occupied, but looks like they all take down the defenders fairly easily in the end as the bomb will be planted by the coffins. Draken coming in from construction, holding the angle and allowing, or rather waiting, coordinating with his teammates so they can all strike at once. Good shot there from Disco Dopplan. He is quick. He's quite a quick player. Exists now, the last man standing in a corner as well, being pinned down. Should he peek? He is likely very dead. And a double Molotov will absolutely guarantee that he shall be cremated. And indeed, NIP have been reset.
Well, this is an interesting position then for the Swedish team. Of course, the force buy is coming in. Lost bonus has gone to absolute zero. Freiberg with a scout. Not something you see too often. See if he can get a position towards the car area. Again, you would expect the Molotov to go there. And indeed, there it is. Standing his ground, can't find the headshot. Going back to the well, but the well is dry.
Interesting repick.
So it's going to be a long, arduous, arid, very arid CT half for the coming rounds if NIP's buy is to fail. That said, the bomb is still headed towards A, and that's where the remainder of NIP are. Not really in, I mean, there can be a crossfire between pit and site. But apart from that, I mean, that's pretty much the only thing they might have going on, but it seems that indeed Godsent will have a look towards Banana. They've still got 3 Molotovs, the T side, so they can eliminate some possibilities, but they're not really committing to anything just yet, so it seems they may indeed run into the stack.
Yeah, they have absolutely no idea at the moment. They do have Twist moving forwards on B, and he will spot that it's clear, so the bomb should come back. Or is there time? There's just about enough time, I think. 20 seconds should be good to go. And just keeping Snyder there to entertain for a moment longer. It was entertaining.
Entertainment was had, Dan.
Exist was entertained with his zebra,
Honey Badger.
honey badger.
All Deagle hypnotics should be called Honey Badger.
Why?
Because honey badgers are awesome and they will wreck you just as Deagles will.
But why specifically the hypnotic? Why not?
Because honey badgers are black and white striped. So as are badgers in general.
Yeah.
That would be why. The hypnotic specifically. That Deagle is nice. I've got a golden koi though. I like to mix it up. It looks like poisonous colors as well. Like, is it yellow and green frogs which are poisonous?
I'm not sure.
I think so. People have a theory.
Do you mean venomous or poisonous? Because
that
that difference in some language.
poisonous.
Swedish, okay.
Because, for example, some people have their wetsuits in colors that would be the same as a fish, which might be poisonous if you were to bite it.
All right.
To ward off, try and ward off would-be shark attacks.
So in a lot of languages, there's no differentiation between, or no word to differentiate poisonous and venomous. I think Swedish is one of those languages, actually.
What about in Serbian? Poisonous and venomous. Is there a separate word?
No.
I find that really interesting because it's something you don't want to mess that up because you can eat stuff that's venomous. That's fine. The venom has been like removed or whatever. But some stuff would, if it's poisonous, just get wrecked.
Like that fish, that Japanese delicacy.
Oh, like the blowfish.
Yeah.
The blowfish. Yeah.
NIP with scraps, dribs and drabs. With a plastic knife. And it's a dull plastic knife. It's really dull because it's plastic, and it's dull because it's dull. Dan is not a fan of dull knives.
I was just about to say, I was really thinking that.
If you have a dull knife, stay away from Dan. He's got no time for you.
I was already tilting.
But there's an opportunity here for the CT side now because all the remainder of Godsent are here, and there could be a bait situation for Forest, but Get Right's only got a USP to try and capitalize on that bait. There's one trade at Brayley, Electro getting a headshot, and there's more crossfire for the CTs, and somehow they steal a round with next to nothing to begin with. And an AWP. So really, the 2 rounds won by NIP have been scrappy and crappy, but they are rounds nonetheless.
The only thing really is for them not to get reset again. That's the only thing. And finding consistent ways to win rounds, consistent approaches is one of the keys to getting those consecutive round wins. Good Molotov there at the top banana position from Godsent just to push the AWPer away of Draken and to try to claim some space themselves. However, grenades back there. Good tactical play from NIP, allowing Draken to create quite the opening. 2 frags there, and that should really allow NIP to get themselves a consecutive round here to build some money, but they need to hold on against this A push. This is the Hail Mary in this round for Godsent. And it looks like it has been held successfully.
Electro's alive though, and his aim is pretty damn good. But Draken's rotated with the AWP out of library, and Electro will be put on the shelf.
Those are the first 3 kills for Draken in this game. So I think NIP needs to continue with that aggression. Basically, they have been outplayed when they went for the passive setups almost every single time. They need to try and create chaos, but not in this round, because this round Godsent is on an eco and NIP has 4 players in banana.
So that's got to be a rush A. They just had 4 HEs, rush towards A, but Godsent are holding still. For me, I'm rushing A immediately. What are you doing, Yanko?
Yeah, that's probably the best call they can make at the moment, especially because they're on an eco. The thought process for NIP there obviously is the first 2 players throw the grenades. After that, Godsent players move into banana because they're thinking, oh, they use their grenades now. It's safe to walk into banana, and then the other 2 nades fall in and they decimate them. But they decide to go for B delayed, and Incendiary stops them in their tracks.
It seems they, I would presume, are trying to capitalize on the rotation from the CTs. Maybe there might be 1 player here, but there was 1 player on A, that's for sure. Either way, top plan makes its way through the smoke, gets some info for his team, but they are respecting the smoke. I feel like, I mean, the smoke can work one of 2 ways. If you consider that Godsent don't have much to lose in this round based on their investment, then I feel like the smoke can actually help them spread. It gets them closer to the site. Obviously, they're at a big disadvantage running through the smoke, but they can spread out more across both sides of the smoke and try and get something done. But it won't work out. Back to the buy though. AKs for Godsent. They've got some grenades. Exist disposing of an unwanted grenade to pick something else up, a second flash perhaps. And Draken's making his way into apartments. You don't really see AWPing in apartments these days. But again, it's still early for New Inferno, but you see Fnatic here all the time. They camped here.
Especially JW. He loves it. Sometimes confusing his AWP for a shotgun. That's unlucky for Draken, the timing there.
I think that's an overextension for me. Exposed to...
oh yeah.
exposed to T-Apps very early on as well. But again, a gamble's a gamble.
Yeah, high risk plays. That's just a question of Godsent abusing the man down situation for NIP and their defense. Prenax with some lineups. Very nice.
Wow, talk about timing.
Yeah, quad roof smoke there. Quad roof Molotov, really nice. And now Exist looks away just at the right timing. Very nice from him. In comes Schneider. But the party has been shut down by the police. 5-6 for NIP. They are back in business. Back in business.
Yep, they're on the road to recovery. But there's a force buy from Godsent. But again, the question is, are they willing to see an opportunity and then try to abuse it? Because again, we've got the grenades coming down. There are 2 grenades. I don't know if a third one was deployed. But the bomb has been left passive as well, so that's going to slow the team down regardless. Moving towards A on this occasion. Probably soon see a smoke top mid. I haven't seen many pop flashes through smokes from a T side when a CT's a smoke top mid. I like how you can smoke it a little deeper towards the T's as well. Forest spotting some rotation. Always got to be careful about Boiler, but look how patient he is. Simple kill to Forest.
Into the flower bed. Get in there. Well, not a huge amount you'd imagine that Lekra and Twist can do. But if Freiburg somehow loses this 1 versus 1, then obviously the round can actually be won. Gun can be picked up, there's plenty of time to plant, 2v2. So Freiburg, he has to win the round here for NIP, just to make, just right here, just stop this push from doing anything. Otherwise there is a chance. There's a chance, James.
There's a Lekro. If there's a Lekro, there's a chance. If Lekro equals star asterisk minus plus chance.
If we're going to say if Lekra equals Deagle, there is chance.
Asterisk minus plus that. Don't forget that. Don't forget the asterisk minus plus. Lekro could potentially ace in this round. Twist has got his off angle, Exist looking for it and delivering it. And now it's about, can Lekro ace? Can he give us yet another YouTube highlight video? It seems he just might do it!
Oh! If he'd reloaded earlier, he would have had the extra bullet he needed.
3 HP. He had a ticks in the chat, and you can only feel relief for ninjas in pajamas because Lekro and Deagles.
His Deagle's so godlike.
All too
so
consistent.
Godlike.
The amount of times he also clutched with it in difficult situations where he actually only had the Deagle and the other team was on a full buy is pretty insane. Definitely one of the best Deagle players in the world, no doubt about it. So despite them losing the round, obviously a lot of economic damage inflicted. We see Draken with an aggressive peek down banana yet again. Doesn't find an opening this time around.
But this time around, they do have more smoke grenades in the inventory. Saying inventory always reminds me of Resident Evil. How many herbs have I got? I remember on the original Resident Evil on the PlayStation 1, I was stuck in a room where every time I would leave the room, I think it was called a hunter, would chop my head off, and that was my only save game. Therefore, I never completed the game.
You say inventory or inventory?
I say inventory.
I think that's the British way to do it. I think inventory is more American.
There's also inventory.
Inventory.
Yeah.
But I'm not inventing anything, James.
I think that's a James.
That's where you invent things. The inventory.
The James alternative pronunciation. 43 seconds left for Godsent. Haven't done much of anything at the moment. Freiburg alone, and that flash might be enough to ward him off. He'll take a kill with him as well. and start to move back. And you see the fast rotation from a second mid player back towards the B bomb site. Standard passive setup towards A, with the Yorpa Draken around the arch area. That seems more popular these days. Well, we'll get back to it later as the push comes in from Godsent. Exist picking off a player, and now we have rotation into arch from Draken, cutting off more players, and he can go back and support, but support won't be required. Forest and Get Right, they're on short to hold things down. I was going to say Library used to be more popular for AWPers, but it seems on New Inferno, staying closer to that corner on the site so they can switch between short support and long. That seems to be the way things are going at the moment. Let's see if Draken bounces his way into a peek down the ramp. Is he feeling himself there?
Probably. Why, yes, he is. But he is unfortunate. But Forest is going to go in. Gets himself one, spots the info as well. Draken's going to be loving it. There's one. Oh, he misses the second one though. That's unfortunate. He'll be able to fall back into the bomb site though, and he'll be afforded more chances, maybe one or two more, before they finally shut him down. There's the next kill, and they keep charging Draken, and to be honest, they're lucky not to all have fallen, but instead, they actually have a 2 versus 1 somehow now. This is ridiculous. They're just walking in against Draken. It's insane.
Get Right. He needs to find Twist. Sees him, but that's the last thing he will see. I do wonder if you have a, let me know what you think, Yanko. If you have a spawn as forward as Draken's is there, and you're good enough with the bunny hops, and you don't see anybody bottom mid, are you ever thinking? It was basically this spawn. Are you ever thinking that, especially with Forest moving to second mid? I mean, it might be. Are you ever sending players down banana immediately? Is essentially my question. I mean, there is a chance, but I think it's a small one, that perhaps there is a T on banana. But I think his hops were so fast that
I think he just looks for an opening. The teammates in banana are going to do their thing regardless. Like they're going to throw, you know, the nades, the incendiaries, go for their banana take. It's very difficult if you don't see anything. What do you do? It's so tricky to go for that angle towards second mid because it's so easy to get punished for it. That's why sometimes when you have the best spawn, it might be better for you to just go straight to window room, try to catch someone there, or perhaps go towards apartments. Because on mid, you almost all the time, people throw flashes, nades. It's very difficult to find an opening pick straight down mid.
Well, the T's will make their way in.
That's a bad smoke.
Oh, Forest has seen better days. Did get 2 kills though for his troubles, which is always nice. Did a good job. Just down to Freiburg now, burned out of position, unable to find an opponent. He will fall.
Draken holding construction, spots the player on the high ground, but tags him through the wall. Left off plan, getting the better of that exchange. No more grenades for NIP. Exists, spotting Doplan, but Doplan is relatively safe behind the pillar with no grenades on the show. Exists versus 2, last round of the first half. And Doplan will take his head off. No dental records for that one. Godsent with a thin lead into the second half. Is anyone at advantage right now? Does this favor anyone in this situation?
I think Godsent. Usually they're not able to get this many rounds on the T side. So we'll see. I think with the pistol round, if they can secure the pistol and convert the anti-force by rounds, I think they're in a very, very strong position to just close out this game completely. NIP has been struggling with aggression on their T side, so that's something that Godsent can try and utilize, and we'll see if and how NIP adjusts to that.
I like the top mid smoke on a pistol and the flash into banana. Taking some advantages away. I also like smoke at the front of Inferno, but preferably on the buy rounds, which you don't see as often anymore. It was always notable that Steel used to do that back in the day. Could be quite a nuisance for T's moving into the B bomb site. But anyway, let's see if T's can hold it versus the oncoming Godsent players, of which only 2 are left. Lecro Still able to headshot, but he's only got 13 HP versus 4, so surely this one is too much to ask. And indeed it is. 8 to 8, pair of 8s.
It's interesting to me that Godsent decides to send Pronax as the lone player towards B. Usually when you just have one player holding the bomb site, it's one of your star players, right? One of the guys who can do the most damage. Sure, if you just want to play for retake, you can send a player who's intelligent, right, who has good game sense, who can play it smart, but Pronax was playing up close, trying to get kills, so I just think someone like Twist or Lecro or Dopplan would be much more effective in that scenario.
Well, it's the apartments that are under control of the Swedish side of NIP at the moment. They can build from this. There's 2 players with no helmets. Lecro's got a deagle though, and he's got a Kevlar and a helmet, and we all know what he can accomplish with such a configuration. However, he is far away, as you can see, over by Banana, so likely would be the retake for him, as NIP have their hearts set on the A bomb sites, and they are soon there, ready to occupy it. This good plan will spot them at a distance. They'll go down. Nice pick up there from Schneider. 4 bullets left in the CZ, unable to convert there. So now it's back onto the B players.
Moving down Banana with their pistols. On his pistols, they're just going for a garden stroll. A trail walk, perhaps. We need to do a trail walk. An American trail.
What's that, like hiking?
In some woods or something, yeah.
You want to take me to the woods, James?
Yes, absolutely. We can make a fire. You can bring the meat. What was it all the Serbians were cussing you out for not having at the barbecue?
Cevapi.
Cevapi. What is cevapi?
Cevapi is like minced meat rolled up into small sausages.
Okay.
Oh,
basically.
you told me about that, yeah.
Yeah, it's a specialty in Serbia.
Cevapi.
It's very nice. I'll take you guys when we come to visit.
Almost every reply was, where the cevapi at?
Yeah. Because it's the most basic thing like you do for barbecue, because they're, you don't need any marinade for them or anything like that. You just put it on the grill and it grills very fast, and you can just like pick them up, eat them. Very good when you like barbecue the whole day and drink and all that stuff.
Words
and also
from
it's much cheaper than buying steaks.
words from the Meats King Yanko.
The meat king.
The Meats King.
King of the meats.
Loves to go slab of meats, Yanko.
Top banter.
On the fire.
Top bands, boys. The bands, lads.
Anti-Eco from NIP
Chats.
moving up Banana. They do not have much to fight against, but Lecro he's got full armor and a deagle, so maybe they do have a lot to fight against. Fortunately for NIP, they're headed away from Lecro. Unfortunately for NIP, Lecro's headed towards NIP.
He's come to them. He's very accommodating, is Lecro. Let me offer you my services. Brandishing a deagle, as armor, not the best position to do, and he'll be sprayed down by the oncoming Draken. So it looks like this anti-eco will go quite well. For NIP, they will take the round, and they don't even suffer any losses. That's always a nice deal.
Nice.
10-8 now, NIP taking the lead. And it should be interesting to see now whether Godsent can actually get themselves back in it, because this feels to me as though this is the point at which one of the teams is going to take momentum and will have the best chance to then win or close out. Open this good Oplan, we know how fast he is with it, but not in a position to get anything just yet. NIP running a default. Apartments control. Trying not to allow Godsent to have Banana for free. Draken's on duty there.
Does the deagle go through that wall?
It must do.
I need to check. It would be useful for spam if you've got second player there for cover, in case things get out of hand, especially on the anti-ecos. Although Molotovs can be useful as well. Can do the job cheaper than the deagle.
Cheap as chips.
Cheap as chips. We had good fish and chips on Venice Beach.
I didn't try.
Well, the fish was really, really nice.
Yeah, I didn't try the fish.
It was one of the best fish I've had.
I had fish and
Just
chips on Bondi
awful.
Beach in Sydney.
Oh yeah?
Nice.
Yeah.
Any good?
Yeah, it's pretty good actually.
I want to go see Bondi Beach. It looks awesome over there.
I want to go to Honduras.
You would fit right in there.
Good to know. It's good to know.
Look at the time. There are 35 seconds left for NIP. The bomb is still in second mid, and they're moving away from Banana. So Doplan is in the I think he's standing. He must be standing. No, he's not standing on a sofa. That disappoints me. But he is in the library position. We spoke about the positions right here earlier on. Forrest giving it up. Blinds. 12 seconds for Nip, and this is collapsing like a punctured lung. I think they could actually get the bomb down. All of a sudden, after a massive fight, we're in a 2 versus 2, and the bomb's planted.
And Lekra and Pronax B players coming in, and the position is known. ECS. Oh wow! I have no idea how ECS was not able to get the kill there. Pronax gets one, causes big issues for Draken, down to 12 HP. Lekro should have this one in the bag, surely. Although Draken has himself that AK, devastating damage from Draken, but it's not enough. Lekro, he'll calmly, very calmly, defuse the bomb.
Still a lot of damage done by NIP. Godsent is surviving with one player. Will he be able to get the AWP? No. So this is going to be a very weak buy for Godsent still. They're very much in danger of being reset. And if that indeed happens, then it's NIP who has the control of the game. You can see that 2 players supposed to play with UMPs. Twist only has a smoke for utility. And Dopan also no incendiary on him, but they go for a fast banana take on the city side.
Looks like a concise one as well, as far as his Molotovs are concerned. But they'll back off from Banana entirely. Put a 4th man towards A. Well, 3rd and the 4th man towards A. But NIP changing the pace, moving pretty quickly now. There's still a CT behind the smoke on the balcony, dropping down to try and support Schneider. Schneider picks off. And there goes Lekro as well. Twist blind, able to reposition, however, for the time being, and taking Exist down, dropping off the balcony. The USP not enough to take Get Right out. And now it's Get Right versus Pronax. Pronax moving up the short position. No, he's not. He's moving into apartments. 1 minute on the clock for Get Right, but as he waits, his position will be compromised. No more sound. So Pronax won't know where to look. Popped through the balcony, saw nothing, and you wonder if he's going to start heading towards the B-bomb site at this point.
It's a smart play from Get Right to basically just put his back against the wall so that as he has absolutely no idea where his opponent is, it's this point where maybe, you know, if he's able to have this kind of a position and Pronax was to come back in, it should be impossible for him to be surprised at the very least. He can just react and be okay. But now time is of the essence, and Pronax has to ask questions as well. That Molotov though is going to tell Pronax everything he needs to know, and it's going to bait out Pronax to fully peek before he hears the plant sound, and Get Right will take full advantage.
A very, very important round. As we pointed out, you can see the money on Godsent almost non-existent at this point. They do decide to force it up, and this is going to be extremely dangerous because if NIP wins this round, Godsent ecos, and then Godsent has a very weak buy in the next gun round where NIP will already have 13 rounds. Potentially, but that's going a bit too far ahead. Let's see if NIP for starters is able to win this anti-force buy round.
Just the wrong side of the sandbags for those, especially with the smoke there. Could have been a double kill. There's more flashbangs. Not many places to hide from those flashes. Again, you can flash behind the sandbags as well, at the feet of the players. So Banana's been cleared. We've got a boost. Lekro's a deagle. This is awkward spots though. I think he's better at medium range than close range with the deagle. his ideal range there, quite clearly. Pronax heavily tagged already, not much else he could do. And now Twist, Schneider and Dopplan have everything to save and little to gain at this point, considering their investment already. It's time to hold on to what you have. NIP moving towards 12 rounds, hunting these players as well. 3 is all too many. Ooh. Timing is real. So is a crouch button. Well then, what do Godsent do from here? Again, this is the first of 2 matches between the 2 teams. Second match will be on cash.
Guns. Maybe?
Gun.
It's just a gun then. Not guns, but gun. Well, we have pretty good situation then for NIP. They've got themselves 3 rounds in advantage. Godsent are on their... Well, they have no economy really to speak of. Only a couple guns to work with in this round. So it'll be interesting to see what they opt to do here. They have a lot of presence towards Banana and generally the B-bomb sites as NIP themselves take apartments, which is always quite interesting in rounds like this. You have to be wary of those pistols, but Forrest will be able to trade his way up mid. But poor Exist is dead. He died.
He died. Saving is not fun. It
No.
must be said.
Nope, not really.
I mean, who wants to save when you can spend all your money in Vegas?
Or on a Deagle and armor.
Or on a Deagle and armor.
Are you going to Vegas?
Did you fire a 5.7 in Vegas?
I did.
5.7 is amazing. There's
Yeah.
no recoil.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's
Mad,
really
isn't
amazing.
it? It's how plastic it is.
Yeah, not much stopping power though. That might be an issue. That's why I have a 357 somewhere in there just in case.
It's an interesting pistol.
You fire a Deagle.
Yes,
That has
stopping power.
that has some recoil.
That stopped me.
Yeah, the recoil on that is insane. It was all I could do not to hit myself in the face with it. It was insane.
That was crazy. We did it in Atlanta because the one in Vegas was broken. The normal one, so I guess you shot the one with a thing on the end of it. It's like a big...
A barrel, like a barrel extension.
No, it's just the end of the barrel. It's just got a big... It's got a thing above it, poking out of it. It's some weird... Yeah, it's not like the Deagle in the game, which is why we didn't make a video about it. Because the normal Deagle was broken.
You probably broke it, Yanka, didn't you?
I was there after you then.
Okay, maybe not then. Maybe not. Maybe NIP will take Banana away from Godsent. There's a smoke grenade to stop them. Will they
Nice.
flash through? Will they just flash on through like real men?
No, Dan, they won't. I know that because I can see them on the X-ray.
Or they might still flash through it. I mean, the T's, not the CTs.
I know.
Yeah.
But I knew they were not going to do that. I knew. I have all the information. I have the almanac. I'm from the future, Dan. I am from the future, and my advice to you is to give me all your money, and then I'll spend it in Vegas. You could say this is bad advice, Dan.
Well, it's push time. NIP will make their way in for the B-bomb sites, and Godsent will rotate. No, they're not actually rotating, and actually, it is all a ruse. And this is
It's a
interesting.
5-man ruse.
It's interesting, yeah, because they didn't leave anyone top mid. They didn't even really clear it, so this is quite gambly from NIP.
But it has to work now. 20 seconds, and maybe they were showing real commitment to the B-bomb side. But again, it wasn't enough. We've got a third player in the library, and the kill to be traded for the time being. They're trying to go for a smoked plant, but Twist is on the site. He's not going to allow that to happen. So this 5-man rotation has collapsed for Ninjas in Pajamas, and Godsent are back in the game.
One might say it is a goddamn mess.
If you wish, if you'd like, then you can say that. But I think that round showed why it's very difficult to fake when you don't have map control on the side that you actually want to end the round on, because you have no idea what to expect. You have no idea where the CTs might be. Fortunately for NIP, no one was in a forward position, but still they had no idea where to check, where to look first, coming into the bomb site. And even though 3 Godsent players were initially towards the B bomb site, I mean, once they realize it's a fake, all 3 of them can rotate back to A.
13 to 10, both teams on the bye. Lots of time for NIP to exhaust the utility of Godsent. So this might be a slow one. Pronax on Banana with the UMP, and he's been left alone with the UMP. If he gets exploited, I would imagine he would reposition once the smoke disappears, but if Draken's still waiting for him, then how does he get out of this corner? Because he's in front of that structure, if I'm not mistaken. So if he gets picked off there, I mean, this could really turn the round around, but the shot is missed from Draken, trying to pepper with the Glock, but that's an opportunity. That's a huge opportunity missed from NIP.
And Twist taking it. Oh, he's taking advantage. Really good timing there on the peak from Twist. Good game sense. And now NIP are going to try to make their way into the B bomb site. They're down a man. Draken's weak. He's weak. He is in need of medical attention. And we'll get some nades in. And they're going to actually go for somewhat of a light fake there, which will keep 2 players on B for the time being. There's a rotation starting to happen now, but let's see if it's going to get there in time.
They're lining up for the garden hose. 8 seconds for the bomb to get planted, and the bomb is on the floor. Nobody in position to trade. Lekro, he doesn't even need to show at this point, and now it's too late to get right. He can just try and get himself some bonus money at the very least. So he gets that. He exits 300. Presence of mind from Get Right, but there's 2 opportunities which have collapsed in the dying seconds for NIP, and now they're in a spot of trouble.
I think they should definitely try and speed things up. Even in the first gun round, that worked for them. I mean, it ended up being a clutch that Godsent won, but still NIP were in a better situation than they are now. Crazy bunny hopping from Drake and doesn't get the kill, and he is going to get actually wall banged by Electro.
He's missed a few crucial shots now, which would have been a can opener for the round, in particular that round where Pronax had the off angle. But it is what it is. Such is life. 2 AWPs for Godsent in this round. And that might be given away by Lekro's first kill. Because of course you want Doppelman on the primary AWP for the side. CT's fighting in a short position, leaving Forrest alone. You'll hear Pronax running back, and now he can rescue the bomb. Doesn't stop to check the angle, and that might be what saves him in that position. Forrest versus 2 AWPers. That might be awkward for them, but he can't escape the corner. Double peek coming in, and that will be another round in the bag for Godsent. NIP's loss bonus is rising, but they may have to go to 13 all before they get something real done here.
Here's your money on.
Can't change mid-game, it's still Godsent.
I can't decide. I don't know who to pick. Because there's a lot of... Well, there's potential for both teams. I would say at this point, Godsent are probably in the strongest position. But it depends on how much... Oh, okay, wait a minute. There's a force buy from NIP, so it depends on how much they can hold on to in this round. Should they be successful, but perhaps the rush is enough. There's no flash over the roof, but it's not needed. They are charging and not giving the CTs any time to rotate. Schneider on the site, on his own. Will there be a Molotov? They've got 1 on the team, but it's just guns here from Ninjas in Pyjamas. And there's no kill, not a single kill just yet here for the CTs. They're continuing to charge in. And they might lose the second AWP as well. Doppelman, you're 1 versus 5, you're in construction. And you're being split. There may be no kills here for Godsent. And indeed there won't be. And I don't think they have the money to withstand that. They don't. They all just run into their doom. So that puts a very interesting spin on things, and I think if NIP had ecoed there, then Godsent would have been on the better end of things, but the force buy ruined them after going so slow, just catching them off guard.
Yeah, like Yanko said, speed it up, and it worked. Maybe you should be a coach,
miracle.
Yanko. Maybe you should be a coach.
Pay me, man.
How much money would it take for you to coach?
Do you really expect me to say that publicly?
Right, so we have Godsent, and this is a round with Godsent on this sort of a force buy themselves, so we're straight back into NIP, where it could actually end up being very successful. Really depends. NIP haven't been incredibly clinical in how they've been playing these rounds so far, and it is Inferno after all, so... Oh, some tricksy stuff here from Snyder. But Forrest will detect the boosting shenanigans, and he will promptly deal with it. And here comes the push from NIP onto B now. This is likely where they want to end the round, should nothing go too alright.
Poor Flash is coming in. Lekro's been left. He's been sacrificed. He's been burned at the stake. Pop flash from Schneider, but how much is it good for Dopplan is still alive. Was around New Box. It's an important kill from him, but it's Twist alone of the UMP to stop Nip from getting to match point. I think it's a tall order. He knows there was somebody recently towards the Arch position. Smoked down on Arch itself as well, so with no kit on him, I think he's got no choice but to try and save. Or find a weapon. I think maybe towards Banana there are other weapons, but it's all too deep, all too close to the sites. I mean, he could position in CT as well and hope that a better weapon is blown towards CT and try and collect it afterwards. Try to salvage what he can.
So one away then, NIP. It's perhaps not the end for them. In fact, it could be the end for Godsent. Ooh, no more kills for Mr. Twist. 15 to 12. NIP, they are close. Force buy from Godsent. Look at their money. It's awful. Absolutely terrible. This is the chance.
Last chance. This is Last Chance Saloon. I have to look up the origin of Last Chance Saloon.
That's another thing I need to look up the origin of as well. Like, why does it say cheese when people are taking a picture, James?
So they smile. So the teeth are out. Twist has a decision to make. Does he continue to go? Push comes in from Doppland. Forrest ready for it, however. So it seems NIP are in a good position to take the first match of 2 between these two teams again. The second one is Inferno, which will follow shortly once this one has concluded. Is the conclusion now, however. Pronax has made his way down Banana with all of a P250 and some Kevlar. Will he flank though? Will they continue to gamble? With 4 players alive, perhaps there is room for somebody to keep an eye on Banana. Maybe that's what their Pronax is thinking, but indeed his hand has been forced. There might be a weapon for him to collect top mid as well. Nope, it's a chicken. That's a bomb carry though in exist. Where will he opt to go with his team? 2 players left here for Godsent. I was going to say pistoling, but Twist has got an AK. And now Twist is the last man. On shorts. Bomb coming through apartments. He's no doubt looking for that bomb carrier. If he runs all the way to B, just lengthens the pain. Yeah, he knows what to say. 3 people to find. Forrest, Exist, and Draken. They're in post-plant positions. Forrest in the pit, and he's got Draken for almost crossfire. Draken will be enough